Good day. Welcome to another episode of our discussion on medical surgical series, specifically on bleeding disorders. And the topic for tonight is hemophilia. Hemophilia class is an X-linked disorder, meaning to say it is a genetic disorder affecting the sex chromosome X. Okay? Because a sex chromosome may either be an X or a Y. In this case, the problem is on the X portion of the sex chromosome. And by reason of this X-linked problem, then the person will manifest deficiency in certain clotting factors. And because clotting factors are essential for stopping the bleeding in the body, then it is expected that a person will have to bleed in a much prolonged manner, compared to one who has normal amounts of clotting factors. So again, when we speak of hemophilia, it is an X-linked disorder such that the person will have to have lack of clotting factors. Remember, class, that when a person has an injury, our body responds by stopping the bleeding through the use of, number one, our platelets, and number two, through the use of our clotting factors. The deficiency in platelets could be attributable to several conditions, and one of that was a subject of a prior discussion, which was idiopathic thrombocytopenic purpura. So, ubos ang imuhang platelet. What is platelet for? Platelet is responsible for the temporary stoppage of the bleeding. Temporary lang, but it still nonetheless stops the bleeding. And the clotting factor, on the other hand, is responsible for the permanent seal over the clot. Okay? So, temporary clot formation are to platelets, but the permanent clot formation are to clotting factors. And we have several clotting factors. And precisely, a person with hemophilia has incomplete clotting factors. These clotting factors, or these lack of clotting factors, may be clotting factors 8, clotting factors 9, or clotting factors number 11. A deficiency in clotting factor number 8 is hemophilia A. Okay? And a deficiency in clotting factor number 9 is hemophilia B, while clotting factor number 11 is hemophilia C. So because of the lack of these clotting factors, then the person will have a poor clot formation. Meaning to say, a person with hemophilia is a person who has poor clot formation, or a person who forms a clot, but such clot is unstable. Well, hemophilia A class or hemophilia in general is a very rare condition. And among the three different types, if something is more common among the rare condition, it is hemophilia A, such that hemophilia A occurs 1 in every 5,000 births, while hemophilia B and C are much, much less common than hemophilia A. So overall, when we speak of hemophilia, dili na siya common. Ang pinaka-common, kung naamay common, is hemophilia A, 1 in every 5,000. But B and C are much, much less common. Okay? So, what does it mean when a genetic disorder is an X-linked disorder? If you remember, class, our chromosomes are comprised of autosomes and sex chromosomes. 22 pairs of autosomes and 1 pair of sex chromosome. And a sex chromosome is either an X or a Y. Okay? If an XX is formed, the offspring is a female. And if an XY is formed, the offspring is a male. Okay? Now, aron di mo malibog, timanan ninyo XY na ana siya tumoy o mura na siya gloso. So XY is a male while XX is a female. Now, the problem is not with the letter Y, but rather on the letter X ang problema. So there's a problem on the X, one of the X, and among female, one of the X is also problematic. So what does this imply? It simply implies, class, that if a person is a female, she is merely a carrier. And if the person is a male, then he manifests the condition. Meaning to say, ang pwedeng mo manifest sa mga problema sa hemophilia is only among males, dili sa females. Nganong ingon ana man na, sir? Nganong murag racist man ang dating ana niya, sir? Because if you look at the structure of the sex chromosomes class, ang babae is XX, ang laki is XY. Meaning, if guba ang usa ka X sa lalaki, a laki has no other X to compensate. That's why he will manifest the condition. And conversely, when you look at the chromosomal structure of a female, if guba ang usa ka X sa female, she has another X to compensate the deficiency of the other. Such that a woman will not show signs of hemophilia, but she can pass it on to generations. And we call that one as being a carrier. Okay. So again, basta hemophilia gani laki ra ang mo manifest, ang babae nimo are carriers. Because it is an X-linked disorder. As an X-linked disorder, this causes deficiency in certain clotting factors. If ang kuwang nimo is clotting factor number 8, then your condition is hemophilia A. Kung kuwang ka og 9, imong condition is hemophilia B. Kung kuwang ka sa clotting factor number 11, imong condition is hemophilia C. By the way, class, hemophilia B is also called as your Christmas disease. Manong gitawag man siya Christmas disease? Because clotting factor number 9 is called as your Christmas factor. Okay? So, ang tao, kulang og clotting factors. And kay balo man ta that clotting factors participate in the formation of permanent clot to stop the bleeding. And so, by reason of these deficiencies in clotting factor, then we will have a poor clot formation. Meaning, a person will not bleed heavier than others, but the person will have prolonged bleeding compared to others, even with such minor injury. Okay? So now, nanakay poor clot formation, kay kuwang ka sa clotting factor, unsa may epekto ana niya, class? Okay, let's look into the effects of poor clot formation. Let's start with number 1. This could cause your GI bleeding. Okay? This could also cause bleeding in the gums. This could also cause epistaxis or bleeding in the nose. As you would notice, class, this first category of effects are those which affects our soft tissues. GI bleedings, bleeding in the gums, and nasal passages. Your patients will experience these conditions, class, because small blood vessels could easily rupture. Okay? Kanang mga small blood vessels nato sa tiyan, mga blood vessels nato sa gums, or diri sa atong mga ilong, dali kay na sila mubuto or dali kaayo na sila masamad. Okay? And the moment masamad na sila, kung wa lang kay problema sa imuhang clotting factors, the body could just stop the occurrence of bleeding. Okay? Nagsige man na sila bleed actually without us noticing them, no? Because they are really very fragile, no? Dali kay na masamad, pero wa ta kabantay because our platelets and our clotting factors are sufficient. However, to a person whose clotting factors are incomplete, then the clot formations are problematic. As a result, we notice bleeding on these areas. Okay, again, kaning mga GI, mga gums, and kaning sa atong mga ilong, every time, no, sige na sila gadugo, but we don't notice them because our bodies could respond immediately thereto. But to a person who has deficiency in clotting factors, di siya ka-respond as quickly as we do. As a result, we see them as bleeding. Okay? So another effect of poor clotting formation could be recurrent bleeding. Okay? Number 2, there could be recurrence of bleeding. So you will have recurrent bleeding asa man nga site, class. Asa man nga site pinaka-common magsigig kadagma, magsigig kaigo, magsigig kasamad. These are commonly at the joints. Okay? So there will have to be recurrent bleeding which currently occurs at the joints. So example sa mga joints, sa atong knees, sa atong elbows, sa atong wrists, sa atong shoulders. So kana sila, these are joint areas that are frequently exposed to trauma. As a result, sa sigig balik-balik, then we will have joint damage. Okay? So, a person with poor clot formation will have recurrent bleeding at the joint areas. Okay? And this bleeding at the joints are what we call as hemarthrosis. Okay? Recurrent bleeding at the joints are called hemarthrosis. Nagsigi kasamad ang atong joints, specifically sa knees, no, sa elbow, sa wrist, or sa atoang shoulders, no. However, over time nga sige siya balik-balik, repeated bleeding, then this will lead to inflammation on our mismong joints, such that this will lead to stiffness in the functions of these joints. And we call this stiffness as a result of joint damage as your ankylosis. Sa to, ankylosis or ankylosis. Okay? Ankylosis. To spell, ankylosis. Okay? Another set of effects when you have poor clotting formation is that bleeding will not just happen into the soft tissues. It will not just happen into the joints. It could also happen deep into the muscles. So, when bleeding happens in the muscles, it can form a hematoma. Okay? So there could be bleeding in the muscles, bunog sa atoang mga kaunuran, and we call that class as hematoma. There is bleeding underneath the tissues. And if this happens repeatedly, no, the pressure from the hematoma can lead to compression of the nerves surrounding our muscles, leading to nerve damage and atrophy of these muscles. Okay? So, from the pressure of this hematoma, this can cause compression of the nerves around these muscles, and as well as the muscles itself atrophy over a period of time. Okay? So there you have it. So unsa tong hemophilia class? Hemophilia is an X-linked disorder, meaning kinsa may careers nato dinha ang atong mga babae. Kinsa may atong mo manifest ang atong mga laki. Nganong ang mga laki ra may mo manifest, sir? Kay usa ra man ang ilahang X. Remember men? Remember men? Men are XY. X o Y. Kung guba ang usa ka X, there's no other X to compensate. But among females, kung guba ang imuhang usa ka X, then the other X can compensate for the deficiency of the other. In an X-linked disorder, no, such as hemophilia, this refers to deficiency in your clotting factors. Say for example, kuwang ka sa number 8 ra ang imong kuwang. Unsa may imuhang tawag ana nga sakit, hemophilia A. Kung 9 ra ang kuwang, so hemophilia B or Christmas disease, because clotting factor number 9 is also called as your Christmas factor. Okay? Then, kung kuwang ka sa clotting factor number 11, o sa may tawag ana, hemophilia C. So regardless of the type of hemophilia nga naa nimo, no, by the way, pinaka-common si hemophilia A, no. So regardless of the kind of hemophilia nga naa nimo, unsa may common nilang tulo. What is common is, since your clotting factors are responsible for the formation of a permanent clot, nya kuwang man ka, so there will be poor clot formation. And what will be the effects? Number 1, there could be bleeding in the soft tissues. Okay? Bleeding in the soft tissues. So if you have bleeding in the soft tissues, okay, you will manifest GI bleeding, bleeding in the gums, or bleeding in the nose, or sungo, epistaxis. These structures are very sensitive, no? They rupture easily. In fact, they rupture several times, no, throughout our lifetime. But we do not notice them kay okay man tag clotting factors of platelets. But one who has insufficient clotting factors, unsa may resulta, he will have to manifest the bleeding. Okay? Number 2, there could be recurrent bleeding at areas which are frequently exposed to trauma. Kung madusmo ang usa ka tawo, kung malamba ang usa ka tawo, unsa may maigo, pinaka-common na gyud ng tuhod. Oh. So kung maigo na siya, mabunog, no? There will be bleeding on that area. Okay? And since there is repeated bleeding, sigilag ka bleeding kay kung ang tawgod og naa kay clotting factor inigdugo og hunungon na niya, okay na. Ang problema niya kay samad niya, inikadagma niya, dugay man mohunong ang dugo. Okay? And this is recurrent, ha? Such that there will be joint damage later on over time, causing deformities in the bones or stiffness in the muscles, stiffness in the joints. And we call that as ankylosis. And the bleeding in the joints is what we call hemarthrosis. The third categories of effects are the results of bleeding into the muscles. So una, into the soft tissues, ikaduha, into the joints, ikatulo, into the muscles. So when there is bleeding deep into the muscles, we call that as hematoma. And when blood accumulates, no, napriso ang imong dugo diha sa sulod, that will create pressure inside the muscles itself, causing damage to the nerve within these muscles. Such that over time, you will have nerve damage and atrophy of the muscles. Okay? Now, that is the pathophysiology of hemophilia. So how do we diagnose hemophilia? Or how do we determine whether a person has hemophilia or none? No? So, for the diagnostic test, simply class number 1, we do measurement of the clotting factors. Okay? We do measurement of the clotting factors. So, pila magid imuhang clotting factor 8 in the system? Mubo. Clotting factor 9, mubo. Clotting factor 11, mubo. So, kung kulang ka ani, unsa nga specific clotting factor ang kuwang nimo upon measuring it, then that diagnoses it. Again, no? Kung 8, hemophilia A. Kung 9, B. Kung 11, hemophilia C. Okay. Another way of diagnosing your hemophilia is through genetic testing. Unsa may buhaton nato sa genetic testing? Magkuha ta og we look into whether or not there are some mutations on that part of the gene that turns out to become a clotting factor. So ang atong gene for clotting factors, we look into na ba siya differences or not, especially to someone who has a history in the family. Okay? So basic ra. Unsa na ko pagkaibaw na kay hemophilia, biti atong sukdon kung mubo ka clotting factor 8, hemophilia A, kung gamay nimo is ang clotting factor 11, hemophilia C ang imuhang sakit. Okay? So we measure it and we determine, no, through genetic testing whether or not katong imong clotting factor nga gene or DNA naa ba toy problema or wala. Kinsa may atong i-prescribe ani class katong mga tawo nga naay history that runs in families. Okay? Now, let's look into how do we manage hemophilia. Okay? So unsa may matabang nato sa mga tawo nga naay hemophilia, for example. Okay. Where do we find these clotting factors? These clotting factors class are embedded in the plasma. Okay? So unsa man ang plasma? So let's say mao ni siyang imuhang test tube. Nya magkuha kog dugo, akong isulod ang dugo diri. Pag sulod nako sa dugo, akong ibutang sa centrifuge. What you would notice class is there will be a separation after a centrifuge between the formed elements and the liquid component. So ang imong formed elements na diri. Okay, these are the liquid elements. These are the formed elements. And you will see a clear fluid here. Okay, you will see a clear fluid. So this is clear. And these are the formed elements. The formed elements class represents your red blood cells and WBCs, while the clear elements class represents your plasma. Now, asa man na nato makita ang clotting factors nga 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 katong si fibrinogen, thromboplastin, calcium, kana nga mga clotting factors, asa man din na nato sila makita class. Ara nato na siya ma-embed sulod sa imuhang plasma. So naa diri si 1, 2, 3, 4, tanan naa din na tanang clotting factors sa imuhang plasma. So my question is, which would you administer? The whole blood, everything? Packed red blood cells or just this? Or plasma? Okay? Tulo akong pangutana ha. Kung ang tao na ay deficiency in clotting factors like hemophilia 8, 9, or 11, unsa may akong iabuno sa iyaha? Should it be the whole thing, fresh whole blood? Should it be just the formed elements or the packed red blood cell? Or should it be the clear aspect or the plasma? Well, definitely, moingon siguro mo, I would have to administer the clear portion or the plasma. And we call that class as the fresh frozen plasma. Well, sa una, yes. For people with hemophilia, we administer to them fresh frozen plasma. However, class, this is no longer the practice today. Okay? It's no longer the practice today. Instead, no, dili na fresh frozen plasma atong gina-administer, but a factor concentrate. Unsa man ang factor concentrate? Ang atong i-administer niya class is only clotting factor 8 ra gyud kung 8 man ang kuwang. 9 ra gyud kung 9 man ang kuwang. 11 ra gyud kung 11 man ang kuha. Nganong ingon ana man sir? Because class, if you administer plasma, yes, you will administer to the patient, no, all of the clotting factors, but they are in small concentrates. Daghan lagi ko gihatag nimo, but I am not giving you so much of what I actually need. Akong kinahanglan, for example, 8 ra. Nganong tagaan man ko nimo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Nganong tagaan man ko nimo ana nga 8 ra may akong gikinahanglan. Unya, perti pa yung gamaya sa 8 nga imong nahatag nako. Okay? So, as a result, I would have to give you so much plasma in order to meet the factor requirement. So, unsa may resulta na class, there will be fluid overload. I'll be giving you so much of the plasma which in order to meet the required amount, no, such that magka-overload na hinuon ko. It's just like giving you with a cocktail, no, where I only need the cherry. Yun na ba? So, what we give now are factor concentrates. And the factor concentrates will only be administered when there is bleeding or when there are procedures to be performed which we expect to be bloody. For example, mag-lumbar puncture baron ka, no? Magpa-lumbar puncture baron ka or dental procedure baron ka, no? So we give factor concentrate as a prophylaxis, okay, to the patient, no? Kung naa kay procedure nga gina-expect, lumbar puncture, dental procedures, not as a matter of routine or when the person has been bleeding. Okay? We don't give it every day. O wala day kay nahitabo nimo maghatag di ay tanimo. Okay? So we only give the factor concentrate when there is a need to do. So di puta pwede magsigilan taghatag ngano man class, because there is a tendency that we form antibodies against the concentrate na hinuon, antibodies against the concentrate. So we don't give it that much or as a matter of routine. We give it only for when there is bleeding or when there is an expected procedure, not every day. Why? Magsige manggutag-hatag aning factor concentrates, then antibodies will form against them. Okay? Di na epektibo hinuon ang imong ihatag nga factor concentrate. So, lisod na hinuon kayo. So, if at all, naamang yung mga tao class nga people who develops antibodies against this factor concentrate. So, what do we do in order to manage the presence of antibodies against the concentrate? Kaya di naman na epektibo hatagan tikaw ana. So what do? We do plasmapheresis, okay? Or we take the blood of the patient out into a machine and then the machine takes the antibodies and then returns it back to the body. Okay? Mao na gitawag na tong plasmapheresis, or we can give immunosuppression. Immunosuppressive therapies like your steroids, okay? It stops the effects of your antibodies. Okay? So, number 1 management for your hemophilia is to do factor concentrate administration and not the traditional fresh frozen plasma. Kaya ngano to? Number 1, kung maghatag kag fresh frozen plasma, gamay ra kaayo na sa desired factor ang imong mahatag. Unya, perting daghana sa imong gihatag nga dugo, causing fluid overload, giving too much blood that you do not actually need. Okay? So, number 2, what else? You give the drug of choice. What is the drug of choice for hemophilia? We call it DDAVP or your desmopressin. Desmopressin, because this induces the formation of factor VIII. So class, this is a medication that is indicated for hemophilia A only. Okay? For hemophilia A, because desmopressin triggers the body in order to create a significant amount of factor VIII levels. Okay? Next, we ensure safety of the patient. Kay di pwede malamba lagi, kay dugay kayo muhunong ang iyahang bleeding, prolonged bleeding. Anong prolonged bleeding? Because of the incompetent clotting system by reason of the deficiency. And because of your risk, you need to wear IDs, no? Medical bracelet ang tawag ana nga nakabutang patient with hemophilia. Okay? And when you give medications or immunizations, for example, you should avoid IM. So sir, kung bawal ang IM, unsa man lay pwede nato niya? We can give subcutaneous because the subcutaneous layer has lesser blood vessels compared to the muscles. So kung maigo ang muscles, magdugo. Kung maigo ang imuhang subcutaneous, dili kaayo magdugo because there are lesser blood vessels in the subcutaneous area. And more importantly, when your patient has hemophilia, you need to have your bleeding precautions. Okay? So, bleeding precautions. So, sa itong mga bleeding precautions na to, we avoid the traditional razors, no choco-colored foods, avoid trigger medications such as ibuprofen, aspirin, or your mga sulfonamides, no? So, these are the things, no? Katong avoid contact sports. So, these are the things that we must always be reminded and to always remind our patients kung naa kay hemophilia, kay lisod kaayo pahunungon ang imong dugo kung ikaw magdugo. Okay? Next. Let's look into some of the questions in the past on hemophilia. Let's begin with question number 1 in 2011. A child with hemophilia is admitted with swollen and painful knees after a minor trauma. So, nadagma ko no ang bata, unya naara bay hemophilia ang bata. So, the question is, which of the following is the nurse's priority? Okay. So, nadagma ang bata, what is your priority? Letter A, apply warm compress. Should you apply warm compress on a fresh injury? Class, remember RICE. Unsa tong RICE, basta na injury, rest, ice, compress, elevate. Meaning to say, do we apply cold compress or warm compress to a fresh injury? We apply ice or cold compress. So, inyong timan-an class, first 24 hours, ice gid na. Then the next 24 hours or subsequent, warm compress na. The purpose of ice in the first 24 hours is to numb the nerves, relieving pain, and to constrict the blood vessels, reducing the bleeding and inflammatory cells to run into the area. Kaya ni-constrict man siya. But 24 hours after, mag-apply na ta og warm compress in order to vasodilate such that healing will be faster. Okay? So remember the rule. Basta first 24 hours, bugnaw. After 24 hours, init. So in this case, muhatag batag init, dili, no? Encourage ambulation or passive range of motion, dili, because the more you move the patient or the more you manipulate the patient, the bleeding worsens. So instead, letter C, apply ice pack and immobilize the joints. Okay? So masamad gani ang naay hemophilia, immobilize, apply ice. Okay? That's the point of the question in 2011. Another question was, the nurse is teaching parents of a child with hemophilia about home care. So, unsa may mabuhat sa mama sa balay kung ang iyahang anak is naay hemophilia? Hatagan nako siya aspirin para pain reliever. First question, is aspirin a pain reliever? Yes, it is an analgesic, it is an anti-inflammatory drug, and it is an anti-platelet drug. Meaning to say, anti-platelet, it can worsen bleeding. So, will you choose to give aspirin to a patient with hemophilia? Patay. Double headshot, no? Kay, imo pang gistop ang platelet, nya, problema pa kag clotting factor, double headshot jud ka. So, never do. Letter A. Letter B. Encourage the child mag-boxing, contact sports, oh. Pero dapat with supervision, Tangan pag with supervision, no? Sayo. Okay? Kiatog naong ang mama. Bawal ang contact sports sa mga bata nga naay hemophilia. Okay? We will avoid immunizations. Bawal ba bakunahan basta na ay hemophilia, class? Let me clarify this. Dili bawal ang bakuna. Ang bawal is maghatag by IM injection. Meaning to say, if a person has hemophilia, pwede siya modawat og immunizations, but instead of the IM route, we will choose to administer it by subcutaneous route. Okay? So, letter C is the answer where, basta naay samad, apply lang kag pressure for 15 minutes to stop the bleeding. Okay? Another question and last question in 2015. This asked, the nurse is preparing to administer the medication to a client nga naay hemophilia A, meaning unsay kuwang niya, clotting factor number 8. So, this was administered before a dental extraction. So, which medication would the nurse anticipate to give? Unsa may medication, class, that causes a significant increase in clotting factor number 8? Di ba? It's your DDAVP or desmopressin. Drug of choice is desmopressin. Okay? So that ends our discussion on hemophilia. Class, thank you very much for watching.